There we go. We are live. We are live. Hello,
right.
everyone.
Ooh,
I'm going to sneak over to Facebook right now, and I am
all
going
right.
to share from my page. So we have, I'm just going out to everybody.
Damn it, I thought I turned off those notifications. I guess I just muted them so I can't see them. Now I'm just going to hear them.
Oh,
I
I
forgot
thought
to
when you mute them, it stops them.
Yeah, I did it on the laptop and not on my Kindle, and I probably should have done it on the Kindle.
Oh,
I can't see them, but I can hear them getting notifications. I just can't see who they're from. Why would anyone pick that? I mean, that's an option.
I don't know.
Technology
is a conundrum for me.
It is. For me
Yeah,
as well.
I
learn
just
as I
don't
go.
know. I just don't know.
Me either. I learn as I go. We got a new TV, and let me tell you, I can't believe how good these new TVs are.
I know.
It's unbelievable. I mean, it's like almost like 3D. I mean, it's like, if it's raining on the TV, it's raining on the screen. It's just really, really intense. We watched a couple old movies we like on the new TV. It's like watching a whole new movie. You notice new things.
Yeah.
So we're really excited about it. So, of course,
I was in Sam's Club, and I was looking at TVs, and it's funny because you're looking at the newer ones and they're like over $1,000, and then they've got the same size TV right next to it for like 600. But I mean, you can see by looking at them, it's so much more worth paying that extra, because the color is better, the quality is better, the everything about it is
sound.
Is
I mean, it's like movie theater. It's sound.
It is.
Yeah, it's really, Jared's been wanting a new TV for a while, and but nothing. There was no reason really to get a new TV. But then our old TV started acting up, so we decided we better get a new TV. So he's in cloud 9. He likes to play with it.
Oh yeah.
Guys in TVs.
I finally said I was going to get a TV in the bedroom, and somebody's melting. I'm so sorry. It is so hot. I know. It's so hot. We were in the 90s today. It's crazy.
Yep.
I finally broke down and said, I want a TV in the bedroom, because I've never had one. And, I just spend so much time now either working or just relaxing in the bedroom. And I said, I'm going to get a TV. So we decided that we're going to take our 50-inch from the living room, which is not even a smart TV. We use the Roku on that one. It's like that TV's old as very old. And we're going to take that one and we're going to buy a new one for the living room. And my husband's super excited about that. Hi, Tony.
Hi, Tony.
How are you, darling? Good to see you. And Facebook user, I guess you do need to switch to a new page. Purple Moon Sanctuary. You will be able to have your name there, I think. I guess somebody's asking me something that I don't have an answer to.
Oh. I don't know.
Yeah, it's something I don't have the answer to, so it's like, all right, yeah. We'll figure it out.
One of these
I'm good. I'm good. How are you, Katrina?
I am really good. I'm really happy. I'm really good. And happy to
Lynn,
be
you are
here.
no longer anonymous. We now know who you are.
Yeah.
I will try to sit still and not move my head because the sun is streaming in the window behind me, giving me this lovely halo, but also blinding people. So I'm going to which is hard for me because I'm like super restless all the time. I'm always moving and like
me too.
I'm a fidgeter. So
me too. That's why we're friends.
We are here again, and we survived the storm. We just had a really nasty thunderstorm roll through. It's probably going to hit you real soon, Katrina.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, the sun is back out, but it's windy and it's still raining. But
And I thought, oh shit, I better warn Karen ahead of time just in case that happens again where my internet
Yep,
and
there goes
power
the
go out.
internet.
Yeah, but luckily the storm hasn't hit us yet.
Yeah. I got another new book. Super
Oh,
excited.
nice.
Numerology and the Divine Triangle.
Ooh,
Yes. So this
sounds
has
good.
some really cool stuff. Um, Part one is a complete introduction to esoteric numerology and covers
Mm.
things like your life lesson number, your soul number, and your outer personality number, and your path of destiny number, and what they mean.
Wow, that's pretty cool. I know
And the
your
other
spirit.
part two includes extensive delineations of the numbers 1 to 78
Wow.
and the
Yeah.
use of numerology in tarot, which I already do. I love incorporating numerology into tarot.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that is really cool. It's 115. Oof. What, Lynn? I'm again going to ask you, why the hell do you live there? Why? There's no reason to live there, dude. None. Leave now.
So I love Pennsylvania. Um, no, actually, it looks like 10. I'll kind of scan up a little bit. It looks like 10. Isn't that pretty? But actually, it's plastic. I got it on Amazon, and but yeah, it has a texture of 10, but it's plastic and it's really light, so it's really easy to hang up. But it's pretty. Thank you.
Cool. All
I have
right,
this
so
big
we
thing
are
upstairs.
back for part two of
Yes.
what happens when you die. Kind of was the
Yep. On the
conversation,
other
and
side. Yeah.
yeah, energy, soul contracts, all kinds of cool stuff we talked about last week.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so we wanted to continue that conversation.
Yep. I thought might as well. There was a lot that could have been said more. Um, and we of course said, if anyone had any questions and we can answer, and then to talk more possibly about the angels and that kind of stuff too,
Yep.
explain a little bit what happens, you know um in that area, and of course, like I said, answer any questions that you have about it. Like I said, um you know um we all have our own views and ideas on death, and what happens on the other side. And all those views and everything are accepted on the other side. Just like religion, there's actually religion on the other side. So if you're a dedicated Catholic and you go the other
Hey,
side,
Shelley.
hi, Shelley, you're going to find Catholic churches to go to. So it's kind of interesting. One thing I really want to talk about too is what the other side looks like. We didn't really touch too much on that last time, so I thought this would be a cool opportunity to do that now. The other side is a mirror image of Earth. As we discussed last week, actually the other side, or heaven, is just about 3 feet off of the ground, and it's another dimension. And just like Earth and the other side, they have 7 continents. They have mountains, ranges, plains, seas, oceans, lakes, rivers, streams, islands, foothills. They have it all. Yeah, there's a lot of superstitions with when someone passes. I've also heard about covering mirrors so the soul can't get trapped in them, and all that kind of stuff too. So, which I don't think any of it holds too much truth to
Yeah,
it.
I think the spirits can get out without opening the window.
Yeah, it's like the Indians. That's why when they would kill someone, they would lay them face down because they thought then their soul would go to hell, or down to the underworld. But yeah, no, the soul knows where to go. You know where to go. It's like because
Right.
we've been here so many times, and it's just a natural draw. You'll feel that draw. You'll just feel your energy being funneled out from the top of your head. Even if you don't have a head, if you're in an accident, someone asked me that before, what would happen if you didn't? I'm like, well, it would come out. It would come out the
Come
top of
out
your
some
body,
way.
wherever the top of your body is, it would
And
come out.
I've also heard people say that they've seen someone as like laying in a hospital bed and their spirit like sat up or like rose up out of their body. So it doesn't have to necessarily, come out of the top of your head.
Right. So, but it so, and there's no pollution, no destruction. So everything is pure. And just as intact as it was a million years ago. There's no erosion, so the mountains are still it's just perfect there, beautiful. Time doesn't exist. Nothing ages, nothing rots, nothing dies. And that also includes Earth's two lost civilizations, Atlantis and Lemuria, are both very much still there, and the other side. And the other side also has all the natural wonders, like it does here, and man-made ones, such as the pyramids and the Great Wall of China and the Taj Mahal. Those are all on the other side as well as original works of art. Books that have been lost or destroyed are over on the other side. And there's no rain, no snow, no heat, no cold. It's like here we have this incredible climate change going on right now with this heat wave. But it stays very calm and clear, 78 degrees every day. The only thing is, and the thing is, though, you can't see the moon, the stars, or the sun on the other side, because there is no day or night. The light there is just kind of a soft, pastel-y pinks and yellows and light oranges all the time. And the animals. There's all kinds of animals there, even extinct animals, even mythological animals. The only animal that's not on the other side are bugs. And I asked my guide, why is there no bug? Which I'm not opposed to.
Right. Yeah. I'm okay with that.
But that's because bugs here on Earth have a purpose. They're here most of them are here to help with decomposition. They're here to help, with rotting stuff, getting rid of debris, all that kind of stuff. And also, food for other animals. But since we don't eat on the other side, which kind of sucks, I will miss food.
No chocolate.
No chocolate. Yeah, no one eats. You don't need to. But there's no need for bugs to be over there. So I thought that was kind of interesting. Yeah, right. I mean, I'm not, like I said, there might be some bug enthusiasts out there that I'm sure if you got upset enough about it, I'm sure they would bring a bug for you.
Please don't.
No.
Please don't.
No.
I'm good. I'm good in the bug front.
No, for sure. When I got my tattoo, my friend had a tarantula in an aquarium right next to me. Oof. And I was like, can you cover that? Because I just can't sit here and have this, looking, because she was right up against the glass. And
I have no problem as long as they're behind the glass.
Yeah, she's behind the glass, but still she's right there, and she was up. Really, I know.
Hi, Debbie.
Hi, Debbie. Thanks for joining.
Yes.
Does anyone have any questions so far about the landscape? As far as, because I'm going to go a little deeper in what the other side looks like. And this is how we know the other side looks like, too, in case someone asks, is that we know through many different people having hypnosis done, many people going through near-death experiences. Everyone describes the same thing. So after you get, hundreds and hundreds of people who don't know each other, who aren't, and this stuff, and then there's been some psychics, Edgar Cayce. If you guys have heard of the Sleeping Prophet, if not, please look him up. Edgar Cayce is a phenomenal psychic who saved many people because of his powers, his abilities.
That's funny that you mentioned him, because he's mentioned in this book.
There you go.
He is a case study in this book.
There you go. Isn't that cool? Here, you definitely need to check out Edgar Cayce. I got several books.
I was like, oh, that's interesting.
I have several books on him. And yeah, actually, he was a young man, and there was a little boy got very ill, and he was told by his guides he had like a well he would like they call him the sleeping prophet because he would like go to sleep, and then he would be able to like visit and travel with different guides and see different things
Mhm.
and come back and tell you about it. And he did that. He fell asleep, came back, and he knew that the kid what the kid needed, which was belladonna, which is actually poisonous in
Poisonous,
large
yeah,
doses, right? However, in the right amount of dose, it would have saved this kid. So they did it, and it saved this child. So yeah, I mean, who would know that? No one. But
right.
he knew that because he visited the other side and was
Oh,
told. Um, we keep freezing up. Someone says, I don't notice anything. Oh
yeah,
yeah,
me
see,
neither.
yeah, I love Edgar Casey. But yeah, so he's really good with stuff like this. Okay, so buildings. What do buildings look like on the other side? Well, for some reason, they seem to all look like Roman Greco kind of designs. They all have big cathedrals, marble, um, which we'll talk about some of. And these places are so neat because I remember learning. It's funny how it all ties together. When I first joined the spiritual community, we talked about this stuff, and we talked about like the Hall of Wisdom, the Hall of Records, the Hall of Justice, and they're also known by other names, more familiar names to the New Age. Stuff very much like the Hall of Records is also known as the Akashic Records.
Okay.
And in shamanism, it's also known as the cave, like the cave of wisdom, the cave of wounds, the cave of treasures. There's all kinds of, and it's like, it's all the same thing. It's just called different stuff,
Okay.
which is totally acceptable. I have found because sometimes my guides or angels will tell me something and I'm like, oh, that's what we call this. And they're like, oh yeah, I can see that,
Mhm.
they're like, I like that. But there's a couple buildings that you're going to see on the other side. One of them is called the Hall of Wisdom. And this is usually the first building you see after you cross over on the bridge or the tunnel. And it's kind of when you emerge out and you'll see it. And like I said, it's very Greek, very Romanesque cathedral building. And that's usually where we meet up with our loved ones. And actually, this is the place that we actually most likely astral travel to when we don't mean to. But our bodies just kind of go there because it's also kind of like a homecoming kind of place. Yeah, we absolutely see. The thing is too, which I guess I'll get into now. Doesn't matter when we get into it. Now, our deceased loved ones, there's no marriage on the other side. There's no families because everybody. It's all about love. Everyone loves, everyone feels that way. There's family, your family grows, what I mean? Like everybody is your family. Because it makes more sense because Christ mighty, some people are married 4 or 5 times. So when they go to the other side, they're going to have 4 or 5 husbands or 4 or 5, what I mean?
Yeah.
And plus not like that, but you probably didn't like him here on earth. What's going to make you think you're, you go to the other side, that's for eternity.
And
So
also, didn't you say last time that, people that are, like from like star seeds and stuff, they're not
yeah,
going there. They're going somewhere
no,
else. So if
yeah,
you
we'll
were
get in.
married to someone that's a star seed, they're not even going to be there.
No, right, exactly. Yeah, we'll get into that later. We'll talk about the angels and aliens and all that. But yeah, yeah, they don't go to we don't go because they're in a different dimension. They're different,
Right.
they're completely different species than human beings. Human beings have their own. Earth has its own heaven. Just like different planets and different galaxies would have their own heaven. It's about the same place, 3 feet, above the ground. But and then it also, just like Earth, it just mirrors their place exactly. But better. Um, yeah, it's really interesting. I mean, it really is. You can really blow your mind thinking about things and trying to understand it all. It took me a long time to really grasp the concept of all this. Um, you know, uh, okay, so the next place you'll come to is called the Hall of Records, also known as the Akashic Records. And it's the most fascinating, popular place on the other side because it contains every historical book ever that's ever been written. And it also houses every single chart of everyone and all their past lives. And I actually visited the Hall of Records once I was meditating, and I didn't mean to astral travel. I didn't realize I astral traveled until I started looking around and realized, where the fuck am I? Because I was not in my room. And I was in a beautiful library, and it just had this beautiful ornate woodwork, and the shelves just went straight up. I mean, you couldn't even see. It's just endless of bookshelves, and there was beautiful tables, wooden tables, and these beautiful ornate glass lamps that had this really, there are no cords, but they had this beautiful ornate like orb, really bright orb in each of these beautiful lamps. And I was looking at a book sat in front of me. It was a huge book, and it was handwritten beautifully, and it had beautiful painted illustrations of the flowers and different designs and stuff all around it. But yeah, it was really weird. And then I saw these beings walk by, and they're all wearing white cloaks, and I could really not make out their faces. And then at that point, I'm like, where am I? And then whoop, I was back into my chair in my room. So that was interesting. And then later on, from my mentors, they told me where I was. Oh. And then my husband was like, of all the places you could go anywhere, you would pick a library. Yep. But I'm like, did I pick the library?
The library. I'd be like, yes, let's go.
Yeah, right? I'd go there.
I love books.
Me too. It was beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And then there's another building called the Hall of Justice, and this is interesting. And this is where the council convenes. Now, the council is a bunch of elders. There's probably about 18 of them. And they don't, like I said before last week, when we cross over, we're in our 30s. It doesn't matter if you die if you're 2 or if you're 92. You're going to be in your 30s on the other side. Okay. This doesn't apply to the council because of their wisdom and how long they've been here, because they're like eternity old. They're older. In fact, their hair, all of this, it's a bunch of men and women, and the women all have long silver hair, and so do the men, and the men have long silver beards, and they wear like indigo colored robes. I have seen long time ago in a dream, it was very short, one of these elders came to me, and I don't remember the conversation. And I just know that there was something important that I remember parts of it. I remember there were dragons in my dream, and I remember them telling me that I can defeat this dragon that everybody was afraid of. I remember parts of it, but I can't remember everything. But I remember him coming to me, and it's just, yeah. And then when I learned about these people and I thought, well, why'd they come see me? It must have been something important. But yes, and they just kind of, they talk, they kind of rule the other side, and they discuss things, and they make up laws and all kinds of stuff, and they make sure everything's enforced. So the Hall of Justice is actually also known for its gardens, and this part I really love, because me and Jarrett, my husband, figured this out. So the Hall of Justice is really known for its gardens. It has one of the most beautiful, most spiritually uplifting, awe-inspiring gardens you could ever imagine. I'm talking about, like, just perfect, bright colored flowers, fragrant trees, waterfalls, beautiful pathways, marble benches everywhere where you sit and meditate, beautiful sounding birds. It's very sacred. And I think that's why too, anytime you if you're ever caught away in a moment, whether it's you're in a garden or you get a scent of a flower and you're like in heaven for that moment, I really think you're remembering the gardens. But that's why, we inadvertently called our garden the other side. Mm-hmm. And today my husband sat there and we were wondering, we named our garden or named our outdoor area was this kind of ironic that we just kept calling it the other side, but but I really feel that it's because we're trying to recreate the gardens at the Hall of Justice.
And you have the dragons and the animals, and and all kinds of interesting things, the fairies and
Yeah. Yep.
the
Rabbits.
UFOs and the Bigfoots. They're all there.
They are.
Gang's all here.
We have it all. We have it all. Yeah. And
Yep.
my flowers are yeah. And my friend brought me some beautiful daylilies and I planted them and they're going to look great and wonderful once they get
Oh,
take hold.
daylilies are the best. They grow and they come back every year and they just get bigger and bigger. Mine look like giant. Mine have probably been out front for 5 or 6 years, and they started out as these little teeny tiny, 3 strands, and now they're like giant bushes. They grow
Yeah.
so beautifully.
That's what I'm hoping. Yeah, I hope mine do. Yeah, I'm excited because that's what I want to do. I want to get more floral and bushes and plants out back.
Yeah,
But yeah, so I thought that was kind of cool. That's probably why I'm creating the other side.
there you go.
I know. Then there's this other place which I thought was really cool too. It's called the Towers, and it's two identical structures, and pretty much they're just like tall monoliths. They have and they're all glass. Well, they have blue glass covering them, and I think they have like strips of marble kind of separating the glass. And then waterfalls cascade off run down the sides of it. Doesn't it sound wonderful?
Yeah,
Oh, and then jasmine. Thank you. There's lots of jasmine that grows around it, which we know is very protective, right? So, but this is a place for new arrivals to come to that are having intensive psychological or emotional problems, like we talked about from last week, when people have when they're really bad things, they're murderers, serial killers, whatever. I guess
right.
it's the same thing. But yeah, they have to go through intense healings. So they go to this place and they go into a room with their teacher. And like I said, no one knows it's up to the teacher
Right.
with that soul, what happens. But yeah, and also too, something and I thought was really interesting, and it goes with my sound healing, is that when each of us are created, we are given a specific mantra, like a specific word or a bunch of syllables, to which our spirit will eternally resonate with. So if we think of ourselves as a brilliantly made instrument, and our mantra is the tuning, how to keep us tuned up. That's pretty much what it's like. And every mantra starts with Om, and then it's followed by a different tone that's typically made up of 2 syllables. And sometimes souls will go to the 2 towers to sit and listen to just to give them that little bit of ooh kind of kind of feeling. And that's why I love sound healing so much, because I see people do that when I place and I've noticed certain sounds some of my clients really like and really resonate with. So I thought that was interesting.
Cool.
Yeah. Anyone have any questions so far?
No, just learning. It's all new. It's exciting.
Do you have anything to add, Karen? I don't mean to take over and be like.
This is not my area of expertise, and so I am just going to sit here and let you.
All right. Well, if you have
share
any
your
questions.
knowledge.
Well,
Hey, Deidre, thanks for joining us.
Hi. I'm still learning is the thing too. It's a fun part, and I'm finally understanding a lot of the teachings I had when I was younger that I didn't quite understand, but I'm still learning, and I'm asking all the time about things just pop in my head, especially with my mom. She's having a really rough time with stuff. So I try to reassure her. And when I'm reassuring her, I'm like, is this right? I'm asking them, to kind of like, explain or wait a minute. And then, I'm kind of learning too. It's kind of neat.
We're talking about what happens when you die.
What it's like on the other side.
Last week we talked about soul contracts, and this week we're
reincarnation.
Yeah, lots of cool stuff. So you should go back and watch the replay from last week, and also watch the first half of this one. There's an awful lot of information that Katrina has from her guides and her ancestors. And we just finished talking about the place we call the other side. And so, yeah, you want to check that out. But what are we going to talk about now? Katrina, what do you want to talk about now? All
Well,
you.
that's all me.
It's
Well,
all
I thought I'd finish up here a little bit about what happened, what it's like on the other side, what
okay.
to expect. Okay, so also you can live anywhere you want when you get there, and live in any kind of house you want. Um, Sometimes it'll magically it'll manifest itself or be there, or because some people want to come back and they want, because you can pick jobs, you can do different things, and some people love to build, like the architects and the contractors, they very much like to keep doing that, so they can build and stuff like that. There's still concerts, movies, great, no rent. That's just it too. Yeah, there's no money. You don't pay for anything. It's very social on the other side. Is what the angels tell me. It's very social. Um,
Okay.
and also the one thing, there's no sex. However, I have discovered this. There's a thing called merging, where two souls can merge together and experience sensual pleasures on a very spiritual level that's better than, from what I understand, than sex here.
Oh, nice. No, Deidre, according to
No.
what she tells us, because we've
Yeah.
all been reincarnated so many times,
Mm-hmm.
we would have so many husbands because everyone loves everyone. It's all love.
Yeah, and then plus two, we also like soul contracts with each other. So it's like everyone that's in your life now has been in your life, past lives, and they're here for a reason. So yeah, it's just important to the angels explained to me that it sounds horrible, but it really, once you're there, you're not going to feel that. But no, you won't. You won't be married. You won't have a husband. You will see your people again. When it's like going back and having like a reunion, but it's different.
It's different.
You're
Yeah.
not going to feel like, hey, that's my dad. No, it's going to be, hey, how are you? That was awesome down there, wasn't it? It's a little different. Our bodies change, our personalities don't. But yeah, it's kind of, there's some things, like I said, it's going to be kind of hard to take and hard to believe, but once you kind of accept it or kind of think about it, it makes more sense, because like I said, like, geez, we've had so many past lives. I mean, which husband would you want to be married to? Or you'd have a harem.
Yeah.
And like I said, and
Well,
maybe you didn't like your husband. Maybe he was a jerk, and then you're going to be stuck with him on the other side. Because, like I said, our personalities don't change. So if you're an SOB, you're going to be an SOB on the other side. So we can reincarnate as many as we want. You go to the other side as soon as you pass. As soon as you die, you go to the other side, and there's a process there. Once you're there, you have to go through, and then you get to decide if you want to come back to Earth, or if you want to be a teacher, or a guide, or whatever, or have another job in heaven. I knew what you meant. All right. And we all have spirit guides. We have spirit guides that will help us on Earth, and they will help us on the other side. We can have as many guides as it takes, and you can hire guides. I found this out years ago, and it has changed my life many ways. I have hired a yoga guide. I've also fired 2 yoga guides. But yeah, I just ask, if you need a financial guide, ask for one. You will get it. If you need a marriage guide, ask for one. You will get it. If you need a business guide, Karen, ask for it. You will get it.
this is some interesting information. Why did I not know this before today? I'm learning while everybody else is. So yeah, I'm going to be working on that later.
Yeah, yeah. You can ask, and then and they will help. I mean, it's amazing. My yoga guide keeps me motivated to do the yoga. It helps me. And helps me find and helps me during yoga. I can sometimes feel my yoga guide's hands position me different, or if I'm about to fall, lean kind of over, I can feel pressure to push me back, also to keep me going, because there are times where I'm like, oh, I can't do this.
I can't
And
do this. I can't do this anymore.
You know, I
Help
just
me.
like a little cheerleader, just like, you can do it, you can do it. And but yeah, I've asked I've asked for all kind of relationship guides. I've asked, for help because they're there. That's what they're here for, and they will help. Now the thing is too, you have to ask. You can't imply. Sometimes we get upset with some of our guides because they don't give us the answers quick enough. And the thing is too, our guides are busy. They're just like anyone else. They're not floating around, not doing anything, or just your personal guide. Most guides have several clients. Now they're not just assigned to you. So
Well, that's disappointing.
I know, right? I know. But then
The
again,
instant gratification. We all want instant
that's
gratification.
ego. That's ego. And that's where the guides kind of want you to learn.
Right.
Because they can't interfere with our free will. That's something that human beings, we are the only beings, by the way, that have that free will. So that said, it's kind of a double-edged sword, free will, because we're also the consequences of other people's free will. Which really sucks. But that's why people often will say to me, well, if there's a God, why does he let all this bad stuff happen? And I'm like, well, first of all, we have free will.
And we screw ourselves most of the time.
Well, for sure. But, I tell people too, I'm like, God comes in. God's those volunteers that come and they help. God is those people coming to comfort the ones that were hurt. You just got to look for that, kind of stuff when stuff like this happens. But yeah, it's kind of interesting, to say the least. But yeah, so guides. So yeah, and your guide. Because I like I said, long time ago, I said it before. I can remember when I was probably like 7 or 8, and I had a really rough childhood. And I remember telling my guide, I'm like, why is life so hard? And do you know what he said to me, that fucker? He said, but what did you learn from it? And it's like, at that age, I'm just kind of like, didn't really get it. I understood, but I didn't really get it till I got older. And then I realized, okay. Exactly. Yeah, that's how we learn. We learn through our struggles. We grow through it. We learn what to do, what not to do.
That's so funny because I must be somebody's guide because I say that all the time to my clients. Well, that's a lovely picture of your shirt.
Oh, I was moving.
Give us a little boob shot there, girl.
I had to grab my drink. I looked at behind the computer. I'm like, where did I leave? Because I need it for my throat. And
I must be somebody's guy because I use that all the time at work. I'm like, when people are telling me all this complaining, all this stuff that happened, I look at them and go, "But what did you learn from that?"
Yeah,
and they just look at me like,
I know, right?
Well, and then they think about it.
Yeah.
And
what's the difference?
It is a nice shirt. I do like it.
Yeah, it's from Hocus Pocus, Sanders Brewing. Yeah, I love it too. I got it from Amazon. I get everything from Amazon. All my friends are like, "Hey, that's cool. Where'd you get it?" And before Amazon. I even see it, they're like, "Yeah."
I get everything from Amazon. Amazon is like always coming to my house.
Mine too. Yeah, my dogs are getting used to the Amazon coming, and they just look at them as friends visiting.
Yeah, the UPS man was here.
Oh yeah,
our boxes of crystal goodies, which everybody has to wait. I'm going out of town tomorrow. I'm going to be gone all weekend. No live on Saturday.
Oh no, people are going to go through withdrawals. How are they going to handle it?
I know. But it's going to be so exciting next week because there's all these new goodies.
I know. I got to watch one of yours. I'm just afraid I'm going to buy stuff.
Well, that's what's wrong with that.
I know.
You buy enough shit on Amazon.
No, that's true. That's true. That's true.
You're better than Amazon.
You are better than Amazon. That is for sure. Well, don't buy crystals from Amazon. That's for sure.
Yeah, don't buy crystals from Amazon.
No, please. I don't buy crystals. Just shirts and everything else.
You have quite a few of my crystals. You have quite a few that you guys.
Yeah, I've gotten some from you. I got quite a few. I got a collection.
Yes, you have a collection.
So does my husband. Yeah, we have a special Karen Posner collection.
That's right, Deidre. Whoop whoop. Got new goodies.
Woohoo! That's always exciting.
Oh, it is, especially when I walk in the door and I'm like, oh, it's been so long. I don't remember what's in those boxes. It's like Christmas for me. I don't
No,
I have
you
no
don't
recollection.
remember. Yeah, no, it's awesome. It's fun. It's
Yeah.
fun for sure. Does anyone have any questions thus far before I'm gonna get into angels and probably talk the rest of the about angels, but I just want to make sure everyone's good with spirit guides. Yeah, because we're assigned and we can have many. We can have I have an entourage, and then you can hire them, ask them.
Bye, Deidre. Make sure you rewatch the replay. You watch the replay.
Well, enjoy your dinner.
And get some good dins.
Yes, you go straight to the other side when you die. Absolutely. Yep. If you want, sometimes some people do like to linger a little bit to kind of check on the family and to kind of see what's going on, but you will feel that pulling and eventually you'll give in. Some spirits get earthbound. We aren't sure why or how. I've asked because I don't want to be earthbound. Yeah, I hope I'm not naked either.
Yeah.
We don't have bodies, so if you're going to be naked until you get to the other side, and you can pick a body, which is kind of neat. That's something else I forgot to talk about. But yeah, you get to pick what you look like.
So I can be thin.
Yeah. Well, you're going to be in your 30s, so yeah, you could be a male.
I'm not going there though.
You're not going to the other side?
No, I'm a starseed. I'm going somewhere else.
Oh, you're going somewhere else.
I got to go somewhere else. So hopefully they have another side for me that I can be thin and 30.
Well, yeah, I think so. Because I don't know the whole specifics, how their other side works, because we're not privy to, because but they have the other sides just like here. It's about 3 feet. It's another dimension, about 3 feet off the ground, and it mirrors wherever they're at, like the angel realm. It'll mirror the angel realm, or, star seeds, aliens, whatever. It's all the same thing. Aliens, they're all cosmic beings. Angels are actually aliens.
Because, I get watchers all the time. I see them all the time. I guess they're just checking up on me.
What do you mean? Do they get scared when people see them? Spirit guides?
No, they wouldn't be scared.
No, they want you to. If you want to see them, I see mine all the time, so you can totally see them. You can meditate. I meditate with mine daily, especially if I have something I want to know about, like this, or anything else. Like I get what I do is I envision a beautiful cathedral forest with these big old redwood trees, and they're like a big circle, and then there's little benches around, and I sit and I just envision all my guides coming in to have this big powwow. And I was like, all right, is everyone here? Yeah. Now I have an interesting, which I've kind of talked about before, in my dealings, because I'm a paranormal investigator. I'm very, and like I said, very tuned to spirits. I think hauntings are rare, and I really think hauntings is our ego. I think it's because energy is energy, and sometimes I think our ego doesn't go to the other side with us. It stays here, and the earth will actually eventually it'll get kind of transmuted into the earth, and the earth will use it as energy. And this is how actually elementals and other things are formed. So I think hauntings are really our egos we leave behind, and they're just not quite doing what they're supposed to do. They don't want to go, probably their ego, right? That's
right. I had to help clear a house, and it was a guy, and he was like touching the women. He was like a perv,
Yeah.
And when I went
that's ego.
When I went in to do the cleansing, or to get rid of him, to do the banishing, I took 2 people with me. One was a guy, and he brought his wife, and she was pregnant. So I was like, this is not good.
I would not allow that.
I bubbled her for protection, and I bubbled myself. I didn't think to bubble him. Like you're a dude,
Right.
And 5 minutes in, he's like, "Oh my God, I'm so fucking sick. I'm
Yeah.
so sick. Something is like happening." And I'm just like, I'm like, "It's going after you because it can't get to me or her." So I bubbled him, and then he was fine. And
Mm-hmm.
then we got rid of it. But it was this negative male energy that was like enjoyed touching women,
Yeah.
even in death. It was weird.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was a phone call.
Yeah, and that's what I think it's because our souls are like pure. They're very pure, like I said, and the ones that are troubled, get picked up and they're taken to the towers. But
Mhm.
that's why I think things that get stuck here, I don't know. I mean, it's just there are a lot of questions still,
Right.
that I'm not obviously privy to. I wish, but I know from my experiences when I deal with, and I have felt souls that are stuck here, and I have opened a door or whatever and kind of like, told, or like I light a candle and tell them go to the light, and tell them to go if they want to, because we have free will. But the more that I would work, and I do, because I work so much with energy because of my healings, and I can feel at the different people have many layers, which we know. We have like our physical layer, our mental, emotional, spiritual. And that ego keeps us grounded to earth. And it's heavy. It's a really heavy energy. And I have felt people who are really ego driven or really ego led, and they're heavy people. And I have been places and felt that same exact energy, that heaviness, and most people would go right to it's a demon, but
Right.
um, demons are a whole different thing. They aren't like on TV. Demons are a type of elemental, and that's why they usually go after addicts, because they
Mhm.
keep you in that state, like the water demons. They're the alcoholics. They'll keep you alcoholic and alcoholic because they have to feed off that energy.
That negative energy. Yes.
Right. Demons are, it's like TV. It's always children. And so they get it. And trust me, they don't want to be inside a kid, they wouldn't go after, they have to feed or they would die. They need that energy, but they can't feed off a positive energy. It's
Right.
just negative. So, and I found that demons are more of an elemental because they've never been human. So, and it's usually created by nature. And sometimes nature will create these things to protect it. Some of the cemeteries and stuff, I have encountered a lot of elementals at cemeteries because they're protecting it's a sacred place. And so, yeah. And sometimes elementals can be turned dark, as Karen. We found out with Karen's,
I
with her,
found out. Yes.
right, with her vortex. It's possible for that kind of like fairies to turn dark and all that. And it's because fairies, especially, are very close to the earth. And they're
Mhm.
very ego driven,
Yes.
just like elementals who aren't human. Neither are fairies, but because they're so close to earth, it's the ego. So it just makes sense to me that most hauntings, and that's why too a lot of hauntings are residual hauntings as well, meaning that they do repetitive things. It's
Right.
not intelligent haunting. It doesn't seem to notice you. It just keeps doing, like, opening the same doors, making the same routes, doing the same thing every day. And
Right.
that's energy, to be honest. That's just energy that's kind of like stuck in a loop. It's
Right.
not a spirit that's stuck. It's not, that's a different, and usually that's easily cleansed by sage. Will take care of that kind of haunting. But yeah, it's just, we're learning. It's like,
Yep.
and the more you do it, the more you kind of learn and pick up stuff. And and I have a which we're going to play with when you're here. I have a spirit box,
Oh
and
wow.
I love playing with it. And because I have a few different things here, and so that's the way I'll communicate with them. And I was holding a little Santa Claus, and I'm holding it, and I go, "What am I holding?" And then you can hear a voice go, "A doll."
No kidding. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah. So I knew at that point that wasn't residual. It was definitely something intelligent, something.
Right.
But like I said, it's just um, it's just hard to. It's just I guess it's just hard to. It's hard to. I guess it just sucks not knowing all
Right.
the
I would say
answers.
it's hard to know for sure.
Yeah, and that's the way
We can only
that's
go
why
by our
we
experience.
experience, right? And that's why I keep experimenting, keep doing what I do in order to get answers. That way I
Right.
can help and tell people like I'm doing now about the other side, things I know, from my experiences, from others' experiences, and just kind of pass that along.
Right.
And like I said, and take what you want, leave out what you don't. There's no definite answer. It's never, never, and it's never always, you know what I mean?
Right.
So you just got to kind of find what's good for you, because
Absolutely.
your level of understanding will change. Trust me, because mine has.
Oh yeah, it's
Tremendously.
absolutely.
You
Absolutely.
know, things I didn't believe in, I believe in now, and things I thought that were aren't. Um, so
Angels.
angels, like I said, they're a completely different species. There are crossing angels. They work with Archangel Azrael, and they will come down to earth to help newbies or to help sometimes families cope. Angels come to earth to help the living. They rarely are in the other side. If they do, it's to help the towers, but they don't interact with other spirits there. And they also, like I've told you things before, angels don't talk. They talk telepathically. So like when I hear my angels, it's in my head. I hear like an inner voice. Sometimes I hear it in my ear, but it's like in my ear. It's different. It's weird. It's not like it's just different. But
Right.
it's hard to explain, but it's kind of like hearing a radio. It's just best way I can describe it. But yeah, and they're just like, their heaven is about 3 feet from their plane in a different dimension, because angels do die. They live a long time, but there are, they do have, they do die. I shouldn't say they die. They kind of transcend or transmute, I guess you could say. Just like all beings. That includes star seeds, that includes aliens, any being that's different than human beings that aren't on Earth. And we will never become angels, and angels can never incarnate as humans. They can come here and have a face and impersonate a human, but they can't live here on Earth. Like I said, they're different. They're different species. They're For one, they're huge. They would be such a big person because their energy is huge. Like they're 10 feet tall. I mean, it just um, they're just it wouldn't be possible to put it into a human being, a human form. Um, and um, Yeah, and you can't graduate from one species to another. Meaning, you can't earn. This was hard for me because I always wanted to be an angel, but I learned that there's other things like ascended masters, or there's many other roles I can play. They're very similar to what an angel does. And angels have ranks. There are like 9 different choirs of angels, but each angel has a different rank. Some angels rank higher than others. And they also earn advancement by doing good deeds. They earn their wings, as they
So
say.
to speak. Yep.
Yeah, and they're able to correct things and able to, because the angels, they're not perfect. That's another thing. People think they're these perfect beings. No, they're not. That's why there's fallen angels. Fallen angels exist, and they just kind of lose their way. They either get bored, they just, and so they have to be reprimanded, and that's usually where the principalities will come, because usually they come to Earth to wreak havoc. And the principalities will come. And I have seen this. My husband has witnessed this above our old house. Jarrett come home from, he used to work second shift. He'd get home about 11:30 at night, and he saw these weird cloud-like things chasing one another right above our house. I mean, I could have reached up and grabbed them. He'd run in, grab me, and show me. And you could see these 2 very large balls of light, like energy, just swirling around. It's like one was trying to catch the other. And it's exactly what was happening, was that an archangel was trying to grab the fallen angel. And it was really cool.
Yeah, I bet.
It was neat to see. We tried recording it, but it didn't turn out. It didn't look right.
Yeah.
It distorts.
They don't want you to do that.
No, they
Like
don't.
the
And
fairies, they don't let us film either.
no, you have to ask. You have to have permission, not for that kind of stuff. And I don't think that we were meant to see that either.
Right.
But that happened a few times actually. But it was kind of interesting. But does anyone have any questions about angels? Oh yeah, and Saint Archangel Michael. He is in charge of all angels. He is the grand poobah. He's the big daddy in charge. He was second made, and he's definitely And everything fears Michael, even other angels. So if you're ever unsure if an angel's visiting you and if it's good or not, because angels they're tricky, the fallen angels. And you just tell them, I'm going to call Michael. And if they take off, you'll know that they weren't. Because they don't want to mess with him. Because Michael's a badass. He will.
I just go straight to the top. I go straight to him all the time.
Yeah, that's what I tell people. People ask all the time, what angel do I need? I'm like, just ask Michael.
That's what I do.
Yeah. No, archangels can die. Yes, they can die as well. It's harder. It's not, so I think only other angels can kill angels is what I'm understanding, or other higher beings. Like humans can't. We can trap. We don't want to get into that, but we as humans, there are things we can do to deter, trap, or whatever. As it's been recorded, actually, there has been several. I think King Solomon is one that's rumored to have trapped archangels. He made them build his temples, and there's a whole thing. But I don't know if there's any truth in that or not. I don't ask because I don't want to start trouble.
That's not.
That's okay, Billy. You can rewatch it. That's what this is for. Most people do.
Because we are not going to go over tonight because Karen is going out of town tomorrow, and I have to pack yet tonight and clean the back of the car out. So
it's an exciting day.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Well, that's pretty much all I had to talk about anyway today, so it worked out.
All right, that's perfect. Does anybody have any questions, comments, concerns?
I'm sure there's a lot. You can always text me,
right?
For sure, and don't be afraid to offend me, or I be afraid because I don't offend easy, and no questions stupid, and so don't be afraid to ask. It's if you don't ask, you assume, and then you never get your answer. So
right. Oh, I ask for questions all the time. Trust me.
If I don't know, I will tell you. I won't blow smoke up your ass. I will tell you. Right. I have no idea. Yep. I'm like, that's interesting. Let's figure this out.
Let's figure it out. If I don't know, you don't know. Let's figure it out. So
yep, that's what I'll do. Yep.
Yes, thank you, Katrina, for sharing your wisdom as always. Next week we will try to do something that I know something about. But I am always happy to learn because this lady is so knowledgeable and has such great information. So thank you, Katrina. Thank you, everybody, for being here.
Yes, thanks, everyone, for listening to me.
As always, it is a pleasure. So we will say good night to everyone. See you next week. Have a great weekend. Keep cool.
Yes.